Let's start doing some exercises. If you have any questions about any of these forms, don't hesitate to enter a chat, and we can have Sarah Dawn be the moderator of the chat, and we can stop what we're doing and address those questions. So let's take that big scoop of energy up from the earth, bringing it overhead, metaphorically speaking, turning the palms over and exhaling slowly and pushing down. And I get the feeling of pulling energy up and pulling it down and collecting some of it inside. One more time. Okay. Putting our palms on our laps or knees. We are going to raise the hands, fingers dangling down, arms straight out. As soon as they're horizontal, turn the palms facing in, pull in. This is a stretching, so we're going to inhale, turning the palms out, pushing out, exhale. Opening the palms up, facing each other, extending all the way out and back. Nice big stretch. Inhale. Don't rush this. Push to center. Exhale. Relax your fingers, but not too much. You want a little bit of tension. Inhale and pull in. Exhale, pull out, push out. Open up, extend back. And finally close to center, holding a ball. Compress in, expand out, open, close, pull in, full, push out, empty, extend, stretch, and relax, coming in. And just bring your hands down to your lap and relax. Rest for a moment. So what we're going to do is we want to remember, of course, to sit up straight if we can. And put your feet on the ground, okay? Don't put your toes on the ground with your heels up like I'm doing, which you can't see. So I'm doing this to remind myself as well, putting my feet on the ground, establishing contact with the ground. And we're going to talk more about this in a second. So that's why I want to emphasize it at this point. We want to sit up straight and raise the crown. And as we know, tucking the chin in helps raise the crown. Raising the crown raises the spirit. Okay, take a few deep breaths. Bring the hands up, holding a ball. Open the ball and close it. Compress it, breathing out. Spinning one hand in one direction, turning the other hand in the other direction. We're going to block down at the same time, turn across and look at that palm. Come back to center. Don't forget to turn at the waist. Block down the other way, turn and look. Open the palm up facing your ear, about 10 inches from your ear. Exhale, come back to center. And just keep going with this. Your breath is going to direct these movements, right? Qigong, the breath directs the movements. You want to have this feeling of openness and roundness, all right? Don't compress. Don't keep your elbows out, butt facing down, away from your body. Turn and look. Turn and look as far as you can. Look back as far as you can. Good. Come back, holding the ball. I like to open and close. And turn the palms facing down and just bring your palms down and relax. So this is a nice kind of transition mode to be in, where you're sitting up straight, breathing comfortably, hands facing down, palms on your lap and knees. And this is a nice meditation that I learned from a Tai Chi teacher. It's a Wudang form of Tai Chi meditation, sitting. It's always done in a sitting position. You're sitting up straight using this posture, okay, we just went through. Hands on your knees. And you can either leave your eyes open or close your eyes and just breathe. It's a really nice meditation, a nice sitting meditation. Okay, just thought I'd introduce that. Coming up, holding the ball, turning the ball over 180 degrees, rotating to one side, rotating back to center, holding the ball on both sides. Rotate the ball 180 degrees as you rotate to the other side. Try to get a really good twist around your spine. This is a spine exercise. The first one was basically a neck exercise. Rotation around the spine is so important in almost all sports. So here's an opportunity for you to really rotate around your spine and increase the flexibility in that region of your body. Good. And come back to our holding position, starting position, open and close. Now, if you're tired, you can just bring your hands down and relax. You should feel a bit of fatigue, but you don't want to feel too much fatigue. If you're feeling fatigue, it means you're getting something out of it and your muscles are strengthening, right? Everyone knows that. Bringing the arms up again, holding the ball. This time, pushing forward and over to one side, fingers extended straight out, and jutting the elbow back, turning the the palm of that hand, of that arm, back facing the side, pushing back with both hands, fingers pointing forward. And now just turn at the waist again and rotate to the other side, switching turning the palms 180 degrees. And so you'll find yourself pushing out laterally with the fingers facing forward in both directions, one being the mirror image of the other, right? See if you can do this seamlessly without stopping, but slowly and relax. Let your breath direct the movements. If you reach across to one side and the other, you should be breathing in. This is done all around the horizontal plane, like the tabletop, okay? Excellent. Keep going. Don't extend too far. You want to have this feeling of pushing someone aside, right, who's right next to you. And your waist is doing the work. The hands are the levers, and the waist is doing the work, right? Okay, good. One more. Come back, hold the ball, open and close, compress, turn the palms down and relax. And it's fine. It's perfectly okay to close your eyes and take a few breaths as we kind of recalibrate our systems, prepare for the next exercise, which is shoulder exercise. And so what we're going to do is we hold our hands, palms up, fingers pointing straight up, elbows straight down in front of our chest, all right? Now we're going to scoop around and back and straight forward and out. And now come back, scoop back to the middle, turn the fingers pointing back, push back, purple swallow skipping water, turn the palms around, come forward to that starting position. The forearms in front of our chest, palms facing our face and fingers pointing up, all right? Come around all the way, back to that position, scoop back and around, all the way around, forward and out, scoop back, come up, fingers pointing up, scoop around and out and back, scoop back, forward, open up, come around and out, extend out and back, scoop back, bring the forearms forward, open, scoop around, and all the way back. So this scooping look like this, right? So this exercise looks like this, right? Good, and bring your hands down. We worked on the shoulders. Now the legs, I don't know if you can see this, it doesn't matter. We're gonna sit up straight, bring the heart of the palms face up, make two fists, bring the fist to your waist and the elbow straight back. This is Shoulin fighting starting position. We're gonna punch out and twist. So start out with the heart of the palm up as we punch out and twist 180 degrees. The heart of the palm is face down, knuckles straight out. All right. At the same time, we kick out with the other foot. Bring the foot and fist back into the waist. Kick and punch contralaterally with the other hand and other foot. 1, 2, nice and slow. 3, fully extend. 4, 5. Now you can kick out with your toe, or you can kick out by raising your foot. It's called a toe kick. So if you just have your feet on the ground and you punch out with one hand and you just lift the other foot, the toe pointing up, that's called a toe kick. When it's done properly, I've seen this in mixed martial arts. Some people can do this, can kick up high enough like this straight out. The toe makes contact with the underside of the chin, under the chin. Now, another kind of kick is a heel kick. And for this one, you bring your foot up into what's called a rooster. Let's see. So if you want to do a heel kick, sitting down, I can't sit down and show you. You bring your heel up into, your foot up this way into what's called a rooster stance. You know how roosters stand on one leg? And then you bring your heel up and kick out like this. All right, so you can do that kind of kick, which I'm going to do now. Heel kicks, bring the knee up, flex straight out, kicking with the heel. It's good to practice these different kind of kicks because you exercise different parts of your leg. The heel kick's a little hard. It's actually easier to do it standing. Kick and punch, bring that foot up into a rooster, kick and punch. Bring the foot up into a rooster, kick and punch. And let's do a couple of toe kicks, just flexing the foot straight out, leaving your thighs attached to the front of the chair. Toe kicks, toe kicks. Those are the two main kicks that are used in Tai Chi. Okay, good. And finally, as always, we end up down at the toes, and I'm gonna stand up for this. You can stand up, do any of these, but anyway, I'm gonna put the toe down, lift the heel, and just wiggle back and forth. And side to side. The other foot. Put the foot down, side to side. All right, good. Okay, so in Tai Chi, there's a lot of talk about the concept of using the ground, and that gets translated into a phrase called the ground path. So if you think about it, what's the ground path? Well, in plain language, it's a path on the ground, right? It's something that you follow. But in Tai Chi, the meaning is, I guess, a little bit different. Maybe you can draw an analogy between the two in some ways. But what it means is basically using the ground to direct the movement. So all of the movements start at the ground level, Mother Earth. And the force comes from the ground, and it doesn't matter what form you do. Now, you may think, well, how does this make any sense when you're doing sitting Tai Chi? Well, and I've thought about this a lot, and not a lot, but I have thought about it. Last night, today, I thought about it a lot. And I'm not sure I'm really clear about it yet, but I wanted to share it with you and give you guys a chance to think about it. So we talk about the ground path. We use the ground in this when doing Tai Chi standing, pushing from the ground and then transferring the energy from the ground through the waist into the arms and the hands, all right? And so that's the way all the forms are practiced. That's why, precisely why it's called an internal Chinese martial art, because your mind has to imagine that you are using the ground and generating a force using the ground that's transferred to your hands. And so you have to make the connection between the ground, your body, and the hands. And so in the mind needs to control that, basically, that process. So when you're sitting, you think, well, you're not really using your feet. But what I would like you to do is, and this may be hard for some of you to do if you can't use your feet or if you don't have feeling in your feet. And this is where I'm a little shaky, because I have the use of my feet, and I don't know what it's like to not have the use of my feet. But if I didn't, I think I could imagine using my feet to connect what's going on down there with what's going on up here. All right. And so that's what I'm throwing out. And if any of you want to weigh in on this and comment on it, I invite you to do so. So I think maybe using the ground path might be a little more important if you were standing and moving than if you were sitting, but I think the same principles apply. And the way they apply is when you're doing the movements, you want to feel that weight transferring from the ground to your hands, if you can. All right. Now, I just started playing golf, and I take things pretty seriously when I learn any new thing. And I've been looking at a lot of videos, and almost all of the videos I've watched in one way or another emphasize transferring the weight from one leg through the body, turning at the waist into the club. And it's exactly the same principle of using the ground to generate the force. And you watch most golfers, and I play with a lot of guys that are been playing for years, and of course they're better than me. They don't use the ground at all. They use their upper body, and they swing really hard, and they practice a long time so they can hit the ball reasonably far, but never that far, and always and never with great precision. If you watch a really good golfer, a pro golfer, you will see this weight transfer from one leg up into the waist, turning at the waist, and then when the club reaches the other side, the weight transfers to the other leg. And it's the same thing in Tai Chi. So we're going to do an exercise called silk reeling. Have I done this before with you guys? Called silk reeling. Are you going to hear a lot about silk reeling too in Tai Chi? And they talk about it more as a feeling. So when you're going through the form, you have this feeling of reeling silk. And if you can imagine spinning silk, let's say you have a line of silk and you're winding it up on a reel. Silk is very elastic, right? It stretches, I think, more than any other single natural fiber. Silk can stretch, I don't know, 100 times its length. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can look everything up on the internet these days, but I bet I'm right about this. And as it stretches, it's very subtle, and you should be able to feel that stretch. So if we move one hand in one direction and we move the other hand in the other direction, we should feel the connection between the hands as if we're reeling silk. That's the feeling. And feeling the connection between the hands is what the mind is. Why? That's an internal aspect, right? That doesn't just happen. We have to mentally, because the hands aren't connected. You know, we can do this all day long and the hands are connected. We don't want to do that. We want to connect our hands, all right, when we do this move, which we have in our form, and it's called deflection. That's one move we have in the form. There are others where the hands are always feel like they're connected. And the way to make that connection is to imagine reeling silk. Imagine that you're holding the ends of both ends of a silk, a line of silk, and you're stretching the silk in one direction, back and forth in the other direction. All right. And so these are two different concepts, but they're connected. So the idea of generating power from the ground and reeling silk are tied into each other. And it's it takes years really of practice to really kind of get this down. And I have to admit that I haven't quite gotten it down, and I don't mind telling you that, because it takes a lifetime of practice and thinking about it to put everything into practice and make it work really seamlessly. All right. So to feel what I'm talking about, I developed this exercise, and we're going to do this in the sitting position. If you do it standing up, it's a little bit easier. This is one interesting, because you would think that doing it standing is more complex than sitting. Well, here's one example of doing it sitting is more kind of in some ways more difficult than doing it in the standing direction. And what we're going to do is we're just going to, cloud hands is done this way, right? We all know cloud hands, right? Moving hands like clouds, right? We're just going to do this with one hand, and we're going to rotate. I don't care which hand you use. We're going to rotate at the waist. So start doing this motion. Put your other hand on your lap and just turn at the waist and relax. and draw a circle, right? It's like drawing a circle. Sweeping hand down across the lap, fingers pointing in the direction of the move, coming up, hands facing out. Typical cloud hands turning at the waist. All right. Now, so far you haven't done anything with your feet, have you? All right. We're going to break this down. We're just using the hands and the waist. I just want you to get this feeling going. This is going to take some time. We're going to spend some time with this because it's important. Now, as we come back to one side, we're kind of winding up, ready to go up into the other side. What I want you to do is, as you pull across, I want you to press down on the ground with that foot where the hand is. So I'm spinning clockwise with my right hand. Everyone do that. No pressure on the ground. Now, as I come up on the left, I'm going to start to slowly press down with my left foot and push from the left foot across. As I sweep across, I'm helping, imagine pushing across, using the ground to push across. So what I'm doing here, if you think about the application, is I'm coming up behind someone, grabbing a wrist, they're over here, and pulling that wrist across. Now, if I don't use my feet, I'm going to have a tough time doing that. Because as I pull in this direction, my body's going to want to go in this direction, and I'm counteracting what I'm trying to do. So essentially what's going to happen is nothing's going to happen, if you can understand what I'm saying. So if I had a partner standing here and they punch me, I step to the side, I grab the hand and I just pull across it without putting pressure on the ground. The chances are not very good that I'm going to be able to pull across very well. But if I apply pressure with that foot and push against the foot as I pull the hand, now I get double the force. All right, so and this is what I'm talking about, is as I sweep across, I press down with my foot. Now, as I come back the other way, I push down with the other foot. Coming up on the left side, I push down with my right foot, pulling to the right. As I start to sweep down and across to the other side, I push down with my right foot and sweep across. Now, what I'm doing is I come back as I'm lifting. A kick is coming at me. As I come back, I'm going to sweep under, and I can do it this way or this way and pick up that leg and throw somebody over as they go to kick me. Now, again, if I don't use my feet and all I do is this, it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to apply enough force. But if I push down with that leg, the opposing leg, as I sweep across, I can pull up as I press down with the right leg, see? Okay, does that kind of make sense? So these are really advanced, this kind of advanced stuff. So as we start with one hand, now we're going to do two hands. As we pull across, we push down. As we come up, we press down with the other leg. As I switch up and down, I press down on that side and pull across. As I get to the other side, I press down with the other leg and pull across. Now, I just want you to do this. Just slightly apply a little bit of pressure to the leg where the hands are changing just before, when they're changing before you move to the other side. All right, I want you to get this. And now we're going to go on to the next part of this. And you'll see what I mean by tying all these concepts together. The ground path with silk reeling. Using the ground path and the concept of reeling silk, which we haven't done yet. Pressing down, pulling across, pressing down, pulling across, pressing down, pulling across. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine that as you pull across, that there's a silk thread attached to your hand and the opposite foot. All right. So as I pull across, I feel like I'm stretching. I feel resistance between the foot and the hand. As this hand comes up and I pull across and press down with that right foot, I also feel a silk connection between the left hand and the right foot. So now you're getting feeling in the legs and the hands and between the legs and the hands. So you're connecting everything in 4 directions. I feel a connection between my hands. I feel a connection between my feet and my hands. And I'm using the ground pad to push against the direction that I'm moving. Now, if you were to do this standing up, you would get it. You'd get the feeling right away. Because when you're sitting down, generally you're not pressing your feet. I mean, the idea when you're sitting down is to take the weight off your legs, to relax. But if you're standing up and doing this, I'm just gonna do it and see if I can get most of I'm going to use a prop. I want to bring my computer up a little bit. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. So if I'm doing this standing up, watch my feet. You see how I'm pushing against this leg, the left leg, and my knees are bent. I'm pressing on the ground as I come up to the right. And as I come back to the left, I'm pushing with my right leg back to the left. See, press into the ground. And notice how I'm sinking and how bending the knees is important to drive that energy. And as this hand comes up and across, as I push with my left foot, as my right hand comes across, I imagine a silk thread attached from the hand to the foot. And that's a different feeling. And it connects both. It connects everything together. Press and pull. Press and pull and stretch. Press and pull and stretch. Shift back and forth. Put your mind to it. Feel the stretch between the hands, the stretch between the hands and the feet. It's like a cross. It's like 2 bands crossing each other. Okay, so we're going to do, I think that's enough on that. We're going to do silk reeling exercises every session. And the reason to do it is once you get the feeling, it's extremely relaxing. It's very relaxing, and it'll really help you feel a connection in your body between your hands, your feet, and everything, that your elbows, literally everything, shoulders and knees, whatever. All right. So we'll do some more of that. So I think that's all I want to talk about. Anybody have any questions or comments to make? I have one more comment, but I want to give you a chance to ask questions or to add something from your experience in life, either emotionally or physically, and maybe some sport you do, of maybe connection between all these things that I've talked about with respect to Tai Chi. All right. Well, Chad will always, I'm sure I'll get a message from him. I know I'm going to get a message from him. It's something juicy. Anyway, I love it. So, so yeah. So my comment was, okay, getting back to the way I started is I started playing golf. I think I played golf once when I was 16 years old. Well, I live in this area here, and there's this golf course in this community, and it's free, and I'm paying for it anyway. And I thought, well, as long as I'm paying for it, I'm going to learn how to play golf. I'm going to, it's good practice. I need to walk more. It's very hilly course, very hard to play. And it gives me a chance. I don't like walking. I like to be doing things, more than just walking. And so playing golf seemed like a good idea. So I started playing, and I realized how difficult a sport it is. It seems like a silly sport, but it is really hard to do. And I'm starting to see a lot of parallels between golf and Tai Chi, because golf is very Zen-like. And of course, Tai Chi is very Zen-like. It's very meditative, right? The important things in golf is to relax and swing softly and slowly. When you come back, you come up slowly. You use a whip-like action, more than just your hands. You use a whip-like action, and then you just come up and it slows down again. You see people trying to hit the ball really hard using just their arms and their hands. And like I said at the beginning, they're never going to get any better. Now, the other thing in golf that's really interesting is the transferring of the weight from which we just went over, from one foot pushing off and then pushing with the other foot. It's this motion here and turning at the waist. And it's the combination of pushing with the feet and turning at the waist, just using the arm as a lever and using the waist as a fulcrum, that generates all the power in golf. And if you want to, I think it would be a good exercise for you guys to go online and look at a pro golfer swinging a club, and you'll immediately see a significant identity to Tai Chi and the way the waist is used, turning at the waist, using the waist as like the axle and of a cart, and the hands as the wheels. So the wheels are doing all the work. The wheels are seemingly doing the work, but it's the axle that actually drives the energy. Okay, I think it's 12:10, so this is good. I'm going to play more golf and get better at it, and use my Tai Chi training to help improve my golf, and use my golf training to improve my Tai Chi. So I see that as a way of like cross training. Interestingly enough, and I've talked to a few golfers about this, and they go, huh? They've never done Tai Chi. They have no idea, how similar the movements are really. Okay, so let's do a round of Tai Chi, and if you can, use pressure on your feet. As I know we're sitting, but try to do this weight transfer. And as we go through it, I'm going to point it out. Okay, I'm going to say press on the left foot, press on the right foot, and so on and so forth. So we'll use this as an opportunity, going through the whole form, to see if we can feel, engender some of these the concept of silk reeling and the ground path, right? Because we need to tie it in to something real, right? Just to talk about it as something separate doesn't make any sense at all. All right. So sitting up straight, we all know the drill. We're going to bring the hands up. And as I bring the hands up, I'm going to press down with my feet. Now, why am I doing this? If I had somebody coming at me to grab me around by the shoulders or around the neck, I can break that force using this commencement move coming up. I do it quickly. Now, if I just use my hands, I'm not going to generate much energy. But if I compress down and push up with my feet, push down with my feet at the same time I push up with my hands, I am doubling that force, right? Okay, can you see this? You can see the relationships here between using the ground path to generate that energy up. So, we're doing Tai Chi. Most people will say doing Tai Chi, forget about your legs, you move your hands and this and that. You're really moving your feet against the earth as you move your hands through space within all of the forms. So here we go. Press down, come up. All right. Excuse me a second.
Oh, Wendy, this is
Okay, so here we go. Commencement, press down slightly, a little pressure down on the feet. As we come up, push down. Now here we just want to relax the feet. All right. Let's come up again. Come in. Now, when you come in, you're going to press down with your toes. Why? You're pulling in to oppose that. You're pulling somebody in is what you're doing. I mean, I could show you some applications, but I'd have to reach around and grab someone around the back and pull them around and trip them over my foot, and I can't show you that. But if I come in like this and pull in, if I press down with my toes, I'm opposing that force, so it allows me to put more power in pulling in, pressing my toes against the ground. As I push out, I press with my heels, right? To counterbalance that force going out. Right? So now let's try that again. All right. This is putting all this into practice, and you should be able to feel this, and you should feel the connection and go, what's going on in your mind should be like, yeah, this makes sense. This is intuitive. All right. We come up, we press down with our feet. We push down, we relax, take the pressure off our feet. All right. Come up, push down, come in. As we come in, we press down with our toes. As we push out, we press down with the heels. As we bring the force in, we press down with our toes slightly. And now relax and open and close. All right, so we're using these concepts. Yeah, all right. Turning the hands out, we're going to, now, if you're doing this standing up, I would tell you to press and lean to one side. All right, now we're going to do that. I haven't been teaching that. So this is a little more advanced. After the open and close, we do the single whip. When you turn the hands out, you want to shift your weight to one side. In this case, the right side. Then as you come up and line up on the left, you move to the left. So as we push out and we start to extend to the single whip, I want you to push with the left leg down as you press to the right. As you pull down to the left and line up under the elbow, you want to push with the other foot, the right foot down as you line up under the elbow. Wendy? Wendy? Now, switch up and down. Put pressure on that left leg, just like in the exercise. Pull to the right. Transfer the weight to the right foot. Push down. Switch the hands. Press. Turn to the left. Push down. Switch the hands. Pull to the right. Switch hands. Push down. Pull to the left. Can you guys take that conversation in the other room? Thank you. All right, now we're going to come up. We're going to press down with the left foot as we turn and push across with that left leg on the ground to open and close. And now the feet are neutral, and open and close is a neutral movement, right? It's symmetrical in both directions at the same time, no pressure on the feet. All right, now here we're going to continue with this. We're going to do the move, which is the next move called brush knee. So to do brush knee, I'm going to wind up to the right. And as I wind up to the right, I'm going to apply counter force on my left foot pressing down to help push my body around to the right. Now that I'm wound up, I'm going to put pressure on my right foot, all right, as I push forward and sweep across, using that force of the ground to help push across, sweep across, and push forward. So the pressure should be on my right foot, all right? And now we do play the lute. We transfer the weight to the left foot as we come up, and then transfer the weight to the right foot as we bring the right hand down. And now we should be in neutral. Turn the palms over. We're going to go deflect. Now, as we deflect, now the lower palm is up, the upper palm is down. As we deflect, pushing the hands past each other and pushing out, we press down with the left foot to drive the energy forward with the right hand. As we turn around, we start to press down with the right foot as we go forward. The pressing down on the right foot, right? The right foot, the right leg, generates through the ground more power in the left hand. And we should feel the connection between the left hand extending out and the right foot, that reeling silk energy. Let's keep going. Press down with the left, strike. Turn the palms over, press down with the right, strike. Press down, push. When I say push, I mean push down with the right as you press forward with the left hand, or strike forward. So you're pushing down as you're striking with the opposite hand and foot. Okay, one more time, ending up on the right side, make two fists. And now we're going to parry and punch. And now this movement here, you should be neutral in the feet. Opening the hands up to calling block. Here again, as we press back, as we pull back, we press down with the toes. And we bring the hands down. As we push out, we press down with the heels. Bringing the hands together, the feet go to neutrality, and we open and close. Now, when I say press down with the toes and the heels, you're not really rocking on your toes and heels. It's a subtle transfer of weight from the front of your foot to the back, or the back to the front, and then back to neutrality, okay? So I don't expect you to, anybody, including myself, you know, when I practice, I'm not thinking about this all the time. But occasionally what I'll do is go through the entire form and think about this and only this. And it disrupts my focus of attention in other areas, because the mind can't really do more than just one or two things at a time. That's just the way the mind is. But this practice helps me to get to a point where I'm doing this without even thinking about it. But at first, you really have to give it a lot of thought. And that means you're disrupting your breathing, and maybe you're not standing up straight, because your mind is focused on the transfer of weight and the connection between the hands and the feet. So we got this transfer of weight from the ground path and the connection of the hands and the feet through this feeling of reeling silk. Okay. What time is it? Let's check the time. 21. All right. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to do it in the other direction, but we're going to do it quietly. And if you like, you can pay attention to the ground path and silk reeling as you wish. Okay. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. If you can do it, that's even better. Relax, sit up straight, tuck the chin in. Bring the hands up, fingers pointing down, breathe in. Bring the hands in and down to the waist. Push out. Bring the palms in to the chest and open and close. Single whip. Push out Lean to the right. Now, when I may say lean, I don't mean lean your head. I mean lean your body, keeping your head up. Your head is always upright. So always upright. Leaning to the left. Lining up on the left-hand side. Switching up and down, pulling to the right. Cloud hands right. Keep going. Press down with the foot as you pull across. Actually, we're not doing it reverse. We're doing it in the same direction. That's okay. Let's go with this. Coming to one side, bring the lower hand up in an arc, over to the other side and open and close. All right. Brush knee. Fold the hands over, turn them at the waist, finger and elbow. Look back at that palm winding up to the right, pulling across, blocking and pushing. All right, play the lute, lower hand up, turning the wheel, upper hand down to play the lute. Turning the palms over, right palm up. Deflect. Pull it, pushing the hands past each other, striking out, pulling back, deflect. 2 more times, pushing down with the opposite foot as to the hand that's extending out. Again, when you're on the right-hand side, left hand out, make 2 fists. Hold the left fist over to the chest, parry and punch over the wrist. Open the hands up. Extend the elbows down, pull back, calling block, push back on the toes, push forward on the heels. Bring the palms forward to your chest. Relax the tension in the feet, open and close. Now we're going to end Tai Chi. We're going to push the hands straight out and down. Okay. All right. I know somebody's going to say, do one of the 5 animal frolics, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to do deer. Remember, the deer, the personality is that of being fleet, fast, and elegant, swift, elegant, and wary, but relaxed. Okay, so this 4 out of the 5 frolics start with the same or similar to the form in Tai Chi of commencement, whereas we bring the hands up. But this time the fingers are facing down, palms facing in. When we're fully extended, parallel out, we turn the palms facing down with the fingers slightly more pointing up as we push down. All right. We block back slightly, parting the bushes. And now one hand goes forward, pushing out, like in brush knee. The other hand pushes straight back. Looking back, switch the hands, forward hand back, right hand forward, turning at the waist, pushing back. Turn and look, push and pull. Turn and look, push and pull. Turning both hands, palms up, striking up over the left palm with the right hand. Now your wrist should be crossed. Sweeping down and up, or past the lap and up, overhead and down. And relax. Hey, deer. Hands on our laps. Come up. And move down. Push down. Part the bushes. And now go the other way. Push out with the left hand and push back with the right hand. Now you want to try to maintain a 90-degree angle between the palms and the wrist if you can, with both wrists. And you're turning at the waist. Now turning at the waist and look back. 1. Turn, straighten out, come forward. The hands slide together, parallel past the waist. And as you turn, one hand extends out and the other hand goes back. Really push back as far as you can and really push forward as far as you can. You want to really get the stretch in your hands, your shoulders, and the wrist. Fingers, everything. This is a tendon stretching exercise. Switching back and forth, simulating a deer running through the forest, looking back, being chased by a tiger. Now, when you're on the left-hand side, you want to turn the palms over, striking up, crossing the wrists up, sweep down and across, fully extended, really get a nice stretch up, come down. One more, up and down, to the side, stretch and pull and look back. The other side, one more, to the other side. I'm going a little faster because of the time, turning the palms over, sweeping up, striking up over the wrist, bring the palms down and around, close, and one more, up and down, carpet pushes, push forward with the right hand, back with the left hand, look back, sweep back, run through the forest, look back, push and pull, look back, turn the palms over, striking up over the wrists, sweep down across the waist, lap and up and down, over and down. Okay, I think we've run out of time, so I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope I kind of got those points across. They're pretty subtle, they're pretty advanced, but I thought I'd give it a try and see if you can just absorb even some of that. It's really going to be good, I think. So think about that this week, and maybe we'll do some more of this next week. All right. So have a good week. Stay safe.